Welcome in, everyone. Happy Sunday or Monday, depending on your time zone. It's me, your boy Raz. We're being chilling. We're doing something experimental tonight. But first and foremost, like always on our Sunday hangouts, we are just going to chat for a little bit before we jump into why the title is No Males Allowed. But until then, I want to say welcome and hope you guys are doing well. Yeah, it's Sunday. I did actually a lot of prep for the stream. It may not, you probably won't see it, but you know what? That just means I did a good job, right? Also, I will say, I don't know why, but my Twitch dashboard said that someone subscribed and I only caught like a little bit of it, and I think it was Snail. So thank you, Snail. Would you believe me if when I literally came back from the bathroom and I almost slipped and like busted my ass because I'm not very smart? And I came in and I just saw on my computer as I was coming back into the room that I saw Snail and it was in purple. It was like Snail is getting a started or something. And I was like, what? And I don't know if it actually happened because it's not showing up in my dashboard on Twitch. In OBS, it's not showing up and I don't know why, but it says that we have 1 out of 10. I don't know. My life is a dream and sometimes it's a nightmare, but happy Monday, Will. Welcome in, everyone. Hi, Soma, Baller, John, Snail. Honestly, yeah. Very, very much Snail. Boo! Boo, hello! I'm scared. Welcome in, Bear. Congratulations on getting first. Congratulations on getting second, Soma. And also, let's see, did anyone get third? Oh, Will did get third. Welcome in, guys. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Remember to give a tuna to Lord Byron so you don't forget it. How are you so fast, my guy? Bear is very fast. Yeah, in 3 chats. Yeah, it is very well. Welcome to Obnoxious. Welcome in, Will. Welcome in, Galaxy Snail. Snail, very based. Very pithy, considering I almost busted my ass because I left water on the floor. Anyway, but yeah, happy Monday. Hi, Razzy Dazzy. Hi. Welcome in, Glitch. I arrived. Welcome in. Yeah, today is going to be an interesting one. I mean, we're just hanging out. We're talking. I don't have any interesting topics to talk about besides what I prepared for. I should have done that. I should have thought about, like, what's something fun I want to talk about today? And it's like, my brain was that. But honestly, every time I do these Sunday streams, I always just enjoy bouncing stuff off of you. Did you hear about the Roblox drama? Are you sure? Oh, come on. Why does it do that? I hate my life. Hold on. I was gonna have such a badass moment there. This is what I wanted to do until it screwed me. I wanted to do this. Wait, what? Okay, now everything's breaking. I love my life. Is it working now? Oh. There we go. Yeah, I think I heard about the Roblox lawsuit. I don't know. We may end up getting to it. You never know. But yeah, Roblox locks over 12 billion. Don't worry, we will get to that. I wanted to start out very simply with, just making sure you guys are okay. But I think Glitch is like, you know what? Let's just jump right into it. But yeah, so tonight is going to be a little bit of an experimental thing. The whole goal of what I'm doing as a brand new thing is, well, first and foremost, trying new things is always scary. But my goal today is to talk about not necessarily controversial, but typically sensitive stuff and deep dive and kind of look at the brass tacks of what it is and try to take something positive from it or something insightful. Because the goal of this is not to, reiterate and react to content necessarily. It's more so the case of looking at the VTuber community and the community surrounding it at large and kind of analyzing what's going right, what's going wrong, and why it's doing that, so that you have a better understanding of what's going on, as well as, quite frankly, if I'm being honest with you, there's a lot of stuff that happens that you just don't know about, and you wouldn't know about it unless either someone told you about it or you care, Snail. Indeed, Snail. Roblox, yeah. Roblox losing over $12 billion, it's going to make a lot of sense when I kind of explain the chronology, the sequence of events, but I can tell you, we do have a lot of juicy things tonight. I have a lot of interesting things to talk about. Most of them are, actually, I think about 80% of them is related to the VTubing community and the community at large, and the others are kind of connected, but not necessarily a perfect fit. But yeah, tonight, I hope you guys are doing well. Like I said, today is our fun day where we just kind of Zatsu, hang out, and chill. Snail does not approve of the Roblox drama happening right now. Are you saying like you're not happy with Roblox? Is that what you're saying, Snail? I'm assuming so. I know all the lore. The rabbit hole has consumed me. Yeah, the Roblox lawsuit is a very fascinating one because it's very interesting that it started out like this. Free schlep, yeah, like that's one of the things that I think is very interesting about it and is like the most fascinating part of it all, is the fact that one dude started it all. Like literally one dude started it all. And I think it's fascinating. You know what? Let's just hold on. Let me go ahead and start here. Let me get this out. Let's see here. I wanted to, hold on, I'm gonna add one more tweet. I gotta find it. Schlep is going hard though. So yeah, I think we'll just jump right into it, shall we? A friend did meet Ruben Sim through Maxer. That's actually kind of base. Snail approves arrest. Yay! I hope I work hard to keep it. Let's see. I think Slep actually retained counsel, like legal counsel.
People are turning saying it's no longer David's fault and not Kaufman's fault, the safety officer. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's true, but it also is David's fault as well.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about, so I'm just going to jump right into it. I think we're at that point now. So this is going to be a little bit, you know, we're going to start out a little bit lighthearted with the lawsuit here. But sorry for the white screen of death, I guess you could say. But basically, let me do this real quick. Excuse me. So for those who don't know, Roblox is being sued by the state of Louisiana, not just an individual, but the actual like state of Louisiana for multiple reasons. And the main one is child protection. So what that means is that Louisiana has alleged that Roblox has failed in its duty to protect children, and therefore they're seeking basically like a bunch of changes regarding that. Basically they're doing everything in their power to try to stop it. And this is the actual lawsuit. Now, the reason I'm showing the actual lawsuit is because this is like the unimaginably most hilarious suit I've ever seen in my life. Like I've seen a lot of stuff because, like, you know, whenever people sue each other, they typically have like the lawyers write in these like screw you things in the original thing, and it's really funny what they chose. Like I want to like talk to the dude who wrote this and be like, this is hilarious. And I actually wrote down very specific things. So if you've never seen a lawsuit before, here you go. This is what lawsuits look like. But basically they're saying, you know, oh, we're suing because we want to protect children. And unironically, I'm not going to lie to you, this is one of the very few times that the government is actually doing a good thing, honestly. Indonesia and Qatar are banning Roblox. Indonesia is going to ban Roblox unless Roblox opens a safety office in the country and then follows the law. In Qatar, I don't know about Qatar. I haven't heard anything about Qatar. The UK are talking about it. Yeah, it's like, I mean, the thing is that there's a lot of stuff in here. Like, there's going to be, I will say, if you've read the lawsuit before, there is a lot of very fascinating stuff in here, but it talks about very specific things that I don't want to touch on. So if you really want to read this, you can go and look up the lawsuit from the Louisiana office. Just Google it, you'll find it. But let's see here. So they're you know, they're talking about their allegations, but I want to show you probably the funniest thing of this entire thing is the fact that, you know, it shows, you know, like, oh, this is what a character looks like, because lawyers don't know what the fuck Roblox is, so they're just like, okay, all right, there's a default player avatar, that's cool, right? Like, there's an example character, right? And then they're just talking about like Robux, which is like how they make money on the platform, and then they start showing like, hey, we take every precaution possible to make sure kids are protected from inappropriate and distasteful content. Literally, stripper pole. Or sorry, dancer pole. I don't know what the terms are anymore. It all gets conjumbled. Every year or two, the word changes. I'm sorry if I'm being offensive, but like we know what we're talking about here, you know? Never thought I'd see a Roblox character in illegal. Oh, you haven't seen shit. It gets so much better. Like, this is legitimately one of my favorite things that I've done in a while. And the reason why is because I didn't believe that the state of Louisiana filed a lawsuit. I was like, there's no way. Like, why would they ever do that? Like, what? The state is doing something good? What the hell? And I started looking through this because I was preparing for stream, and it is incredible what they put in here. Like, on the next, like, literally, like, on the next page, they you know, they're talking about, like, you know, Roblox did all this work to be, like, safe and all that, but they failed, and here's an example why. This is an illegal document. This is an illegal document, guys. Like, this is not a joke. This is it. It's incredible. This is real. This is a real life lawsuit. This is an example. There is a literal peace symbol. I don't know if I can say the word on Twitch, but you know, you got that there, right? You got all these things. I've seen worse. Oh, it gets better. And then on the next page, it's like, hey dog, call me father. And then you have it's incredible. So welcome in, Silke, welcome in, everyone. So again, like I said, as we go through this, the whole point of this is to shine a light on sensitive issues and glean something positive or something informative from it. At the moment, we are looking at some very interesting things. What? Yeah, I know. What's up, Cal? We're talking about some interesting things today. So this is the Roblox lawsuit. I know some people are trickling in, so I'll do a little bit of backtracking. But basically, this is the Roblox lawsuit. And essentially, the state of Louisiana is saying, hey, we need to crack down on it. Now, before we jump into anything else, I want to say this is a long time coming. This should have happened like 10 years ago. This should have happened 10 years ago. And I remember very vividly that when they allowed voice chat, I was like, that's not good. Because before voice chat, there wasn't any. So it was very easy to moderate type of stuff like this. But then they have like, you know, hey, call me father, you know, she's my kitten. You know, there's all these weird things in there. What paragraph is that? That's 41. Okay. You know, it keeps going and it starts talking about stuff and everything like that. And that's fine. But, you know, then you have things like this, the public bathroom simulator. Yeah, very interesting. So the reason why I'm kind of compounding these examples is I'm trying to tell you, this is not a joke. This is literally like someone did an awful cropping job and put this in Word, you know. Roblox moderation has been bad. They caught the security chief on like a dating, like one of the dating ones. Like on one of the dating places, like they caught the safety officer on it. Like they IP traced him. Someone hacked his account and IP traced him and found that he was on the damn thing. It's just like, oh, who would have thought? The other one, I remember seeing this and I'm like, I if there's a lawsuit, this one better be in it. Escape to an island, you know, he got caught in 4K. Yeah, exactly. You know, you've got the gentleman who didn't hang himself, you know, all that stuff. You know, I'm not getting into any of that stuff. I'm just saying it's interesting. This was my favorite panel. This was legitimately my favorite panel in the entire lawsuit. It was someone on a legal team, some like paralegal or something, was sitting there and was like, I need an example for like the the surrounding reports about freak off party. And someone was like, all right, I need proof of this. Diddy. And then you just see all Diddy, Obby, Diddy. It's just like, oh my God. Yeah, the head child protection officer of Roblox literally like joined it. Yeah. There's not very much else in terms of like interesting stuff, but you know, like there's some content that I won't show because it is a little bit of operational security. I may educate you, but I may inform a pedophile type stuff. So yeah, don't want to talk about that. They did a good job, but I think what's hilarious is the fact that yeah, the rest of this is just basically saying what they want. I think what they actually want. I think they wanted to like protect stuff. Yeah. Wait, hold on. No, that's always, it's like typically always at the bottom. Yeah, there it is. Hold on. So basically the prayer for relief is a fancy legal word that means, hey, this is what I want. Basically they want Roblox to like actually follow the law. They want them to actually have safety features. And then obviously like this probably means they want money, right? And then they also want restitution, which, hey, they pay the state of Louisiana for the lawsuit. Pay us to sue you. That's what they want. And then also, yeah, reimbursement. So that's basically the Roblox issue. So, you know, the state of Louisiana actually filed a lawsuit on this, which I think is insane. So I want to go back up to the one that's very interesting to me. So this lawsuit originated, honestly, it should have happened 10 years ago. It should have happened because this was going on for years. And I have no idea how many kids were exposed to stuff like this, but I can tell you this. I'm glad it's happening. I'm so disappointed. Yeah, it's bad. And also it's another reason why I haven't played Roblox on stream. You know, honestly, I haven't even played Roblox in my spare time because Roblox is one of those places where if it were moderated correctly, it would be the marketplace of ideas and games. But then you have who wanna sex? Like that's legitimately like, that's what's going on here. And that's the horrific part. You know, you have some, honestly, like this is like, I'm kind of worried about TOS on that photo, so we'll see how it goes. If I get banned, it's okay. I have YouTube, right? I'll come back. But I mean, Twitch staff is almost as bad as Roblox, so you know. But it's peace symbols, as some would say. I need to be careful. I don't want to make a joke too far, I guess you could say. We'll sit on this one, but that's why I haven't played Roblox on stream. Roblox is easily a very fun game to play. In fact, it's probably like whenever we played in December, this was before everything blew up. I had a lot of fun with everyone, from content creators to everyone in the community. Like everything was great. But when I started hearing about like, not necessarily schlep, but you know, the people that got it, yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah, it was bad. I'm so disappointed. I agree. Like, Roblox can pay an actual mod team to engage with the community. Yeah. Well, the problem is that I personally believe that there are people on the team that are of a very particular attraction. I'm trying to be suave. And that's why they're not doing it. Because everyone who's normal, everyone who has literally everyone is like, they're off limits under every circumstance. You protect them. There's a reason why kids are the ones that it's just everyone has it. I had fun playing with you in Silky, but I never played without y'all. Yeah, that's the thing that was really nice about Roblox, was you were able to just get with your friends. It didn't matter if you had a potato PC. You could play it on a phone. You could play these amazingly fun games. But unfortunately, we won't be able to do that anymore unless Roblox actually course corrects. Fun fact, they won't. This is probably going to be the end of Roblox, by the way. David destroying what Eric Castle yearned to make. I don't know what that means, but I'm going to agree with you on the condition that it doesn't put me in hot water. It's cray-cray what Roblox used to be versus what they came. I agree. I remember playing Roblox 12 years ago. It was really good. Let's see. Yeah, the voice chat was horrible. It was a multitude of things. It's just, I think that personally, if I'm being honest with you, this is just another example of extremely immoral people being in positions of power. And unfortunately, the thing that happened is that the CEO released a statement. I actually don't have that prepared. Let me go and find it. I didn't think I would talk about it, but let me actually pull up the tweet itself. Here we go. So this is the actual Roblox tweet that they gave out. So I'm going to go ahead and make myself a little bit bigger. I may be cut off a little bit, but it's okay. I want to make sure you see this. But basically, hold on. Before I do that, though, Eric Castle was one of the old devs of Roblox before dying to cancer. Rest in peace, Eric Castle. Back when Roblox was still innocent and cared. He was probably one of the last guys that actually cared, Because this is what Roblox said. The CEO, David Baszucki, I don't know how you say his name. Baszucki is how I'm saying it. Sits down with Roblox safety leaders, and he wants to... By the way, this was when everything blew up. This is what they did in response to it. They added connections, so they replaced friends to connections. Baszucki, nice. And then age estimation. So you know how YouTube is doing the AI stuff? Yeah, which doesn't work, by the way, because kids are actually a lot smarter than you think they are. They renamed friends to connections, right? They covered sensitive issues, which they didn't. Vigilantism, which, by the way, this is the funniest thing in the world. They said that vigilantism is a bad thing. So for those who don't know, vigilantism is taking justice into your own hands. And typically and almost always it happens when people that are in charge of basically being officers or peacekeepers don't do their job. So what people are doing is like Schlep. Schlep was a streamer who was unfortunately groomed. But because of that negative experience, he turned it into a positive by basically using what he knew to protect children from having it happen to them. And basically, he has a history of catching actual, predators, essentially, and putting them behind bars. In fact, he has a pretty long portfolio of it. It's actually very incredible. It's very honorable, but very thankless work. And Roblox basically said, no, you can't do that. In fact, they sued him, I believe. Either they threatened to sue him, they wrote a demand letter, or they actually sued him. And they're like, no. Like, you actually enforcing the law? No. So that's one of the big things that people got pissed off on. They also added a policy for private spaces and a community safety council. This is just business buzzword for basically investing more heavily into our partnership and open sourcing our technology. That's basically what they're saying. That's all. They sent him a cease and desist. Yeah. So basically that's the step before a demand letter or a lawsuit. It's basically like, stop, we'll kill you. That's kind of what it is. Rolling out violative scene detection. And here's the thing. I actually haven't seen this before. I've seen this once. I saw this once with Cinder. One time I've seen this where you have Roblox banned the YouTuber Schlep for targeting and arresting PDF files. They also sent a cease and desist. They also sourced it, of course. There have also been many safety concerns over the years. What did they do? What did they get out of going after Schlep? So I need you guys to understand that what I'm about to tell you is how the business sees it. I am doing what's called devil's advocate. The way the business sees it is that Schlep is ruining the reputation and the brand of the company by doing their job. It's not that they're angry about him doing the right thing. They're angry about him doing it and taking credit for it and blaming Roblox for not doing it. Because it's a brand, it's all brand. They don't actually care. They just care that someone else is doing it. But this is also the company that hasn't been, essentially, if I'm being honest with you, hasn't been enforcing safety laws for like 12 plus years. Like, ever since Roblox went extremely global, like, the moment that it became a game for kids, because by the way, Roblox used to not be a game for kids. Roblox used to be a game that everyone played, and kids were actually a minority, and they were like bullied. It was hilarious. I loved it. But now it's like 90% of the people, 70 to 80% of the player base are kids, people under the age of 18. And not only that, but anyone can join it. Yeah. It's so obvious he's not doing this to be a creep. Oh yeah, for sure. The thing that's very interesting is that whenever you see someone defending something that is extremely immoral, they are typically complicit in the behavior, which is a fancy word for saying they probably do the same thing, which is why they're protecting them. Because they would want someone to protect them if they were in that situation. Very interesting psychology. He has sent evidence to them both through email and physical mail to their HQ, and they did nothing. Yeah, of course. Because the thing is that if they did do something, then they have a chain of like responsibility. So they just deny that it exists. He sent an actual document and everything to police. Yeah, but the thing is that like that's the issue with trusting a company with anything. A company doesn't care about anything except profit. In fact, there's even a lawsuit that says like the only responsibility a company has is bringing profit to the shareholders. That's it. Nothing else. I mean, like even like Exxon back in like 2000, you remember the BP oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico, America, whatever you want to call it. They like cost the like world, like I think it was like $300 billion or whatever, but they actually made $1 trillion because of it. So they actually made money because of it. Hi, Elliot. Hi, Ketchup. No mails. Yippee. Yay. Don't worry. We're going to be there. That's actually the next topic. Don't worry. I'm not debating you guys. I promise. But no, this is basically for Roblox. This is kind of a horrific situation because this is basically what happens when you have a lot of people that are in agreement with what is essentially immoral and just bad behavior. And this is essentially what they did. In fact, they even cited that there's a lot of history as well as like proof of Roblox actually refusing to take action. Like I think Glitch was saying, yeah, like they sent an email to HQ, it didn't do anything. So if they had decided to actually look at their tickets, well, the thing is that like from a business perspective, when it comes down to customer service, it only matters if you having good service actually has a positive benefit to the company. If it doesn't matter whether or not your ticket gets resolved or not for the business to stay afloat, no one cares. Like if I was Roblox, if I was a company that didn't care about you, I would make sure that my customer service was as difficult as possible for you to get through, because I know at the end of the day, I'm still going to get your money. So why would I need to waste time hiring extra customer service agents if I can just stonewall you? It's one of the reasons why the DMV is so hated, because they're criminally understaffed all the time. And that's why it takes so long. I personally don't care. I like waiting. United Healthcare got sued by shareholders for not denying enough claims after the CEO was assassinated. Yeah, it's like, it's one of those things where companies don't care about you. They never have and they never will. That's why you have to be very careful because, yeah, they don't. Is this regarding the PDF thing? Yeah. Also, welcome in, Katya. It's good to see. Is it Katya or Katya? I feel like it's Katya, but part of me is thinking it's Katya. Sorry. I try to get names right the first time, but we'll see how it goes. Welcome in, Night. Roblox still hasn't given us the right channels to report. Oh, yeah, no. I mean, like, Roblox has also been caught hiding suspicious accounts. Wait. Was the second one I said Katya? Or was it Katya? Katya 1, Katya 2. I think it was 2. I think Katya. Wait. Katya. Wait. Hi, Byron is yelling at me as well. My kitty is saying we should move on to a new topic, I suppose. But did you hear Kaufman was caught on a condo game? Yeah. So, like, he was the head safety officer. It was that. Yes. Well, as they say, no males allowed. So now we're moving on. The whole point of this is the reason I'm bringing this. God, he looks so untrustworthy. Oh my God. The reason I bring up this particular topic in particularity is because I want you to be aware of the fact that companies don't care about you and you need to protect yourself. So if you guys have kids or you have sisters or you have brothers or you have family members, make sure that you take care of them and protect them, because even if everything happens how it should, where Roblox, ousts the CEO, they get a whole new staff and management, and they actually protect children and stuff, you should not put the the safety of your children or your brothers and sisters or whatever the case is in the hands of another person. You should always be the one doing it, you know. In their response, you can see a Google Doc reflected from David Glasses. Oh yeah, no, it's great. And you know what's funny? For those who don't know, the glasses that he's wearing here is called the Meta glasses. And you don't know what's cool about the Meta glasses? You know how like in video games you can put on like goggles and it has like a heads-up display? Those Meta glasses actually have a teleprompter. So he wasn't just reading from a Google Doc, he was reading from a teleprompter. So they don't just have, it's not just the case that one, it has cameras on it to record stuff, but two, it has a teleprompter. Yeah, no, seriously, I'll pull it up. Meta teleprompter glasses. That's like, you know, TED Talks, for example, there's a reason why they use that. Yeah, it's AI, like it's teleprompter. Let me see here. Let me see if I can find a video real quick, but I'll show you. So, he was probably reading a document written by legal.
Master presentation.
Okay, yeah, so this is not a perfect example. This is a example from another company. Oh, my ears. So basically, the way it works is that you put on the glasses and it's kind of like this. It shows a really, really cool green thing. And the thing that's nice is you can't see it. It's one-way glass. So basically, it's actually really fascinating because you can see what's on it. I've seen people use it. It's actually really cool. That's how I figured it out. I watched a video by a guy named Guamgo where he pointed that out. Nice, yeah. Also, welcome in Arcade. It's good to see you. How's it going? Interesting, very interesting leading into it. Fascinating. Okay. All right. How did Twitch approve that one? How does a little like twerk emote for like a little guy get like banned, but that one gets, anyway, life is weird, isn't it? But yeah, so this is basically an example of someone who does not care about you. He makes millions of dollars after this all blows out. If he gets ousted as the CEO, he's still a millionaire. No one cares. Like, it's really awful, honestly. But don't ban the twerk. Yeah, I agree. Like, I think like it's a bit interesting for sure, but it's like, you know what? It is what it is. But the comments on this are actually pretty fascinating about this. I mean, even Schlepp himself commented, like, are you serious right now? You're upset that I was reporting information to the police before reporting to Roblox? Yeah. So the reason why a company would not like you to report it to the police directly and go to Roblox is so that they can sanitize the document to protect the company. That's why, like, if HR gets angry at you, you're doing the right thing because you're doing what's best for you, not what's best for the company. Wait, yeah, no, they actually got mad, yeah. So they got frustrated. Yeah, they lose control. Exactly, that's what it is. With companies like this, it's all about power. It's all about control. It's not about anything else. Never forget that. It's always about control. Never about anything else. You know what the Roblox CEO is, but you can't prove it. I love this meme. This meme is so good. It's so good. It's honestly amazing. Roy from Wasabi Productions is a dad now. Ooh, see, I like that. I like having positives with the negatives, right? Like, you know, even though this is a really, you know, curmudgeon situation, like, at least we can get something positive from it. Now, this is, hi, Ronnie, we're gonna move on to something very interesting that I'm very curious to see how you guys feel about, because this is the topic of the stream, but it's also my clickbait. But what do you guys think about the VLR's no male collaboration policy? Before I even jump into it, if you don't know what it is, just wait a minute. Let's wait for the people who do know what this is, and then I'll explain what it is and how it goes. The what? Yeah, so for those who don't know, VLR actually recently did a tweet on the 12th of August, about 5 days ago, where they had a few talents that were in a karaoke relay, and there were a few male VTubers, and like Artemis, for example, was a VTuber. And essentially what happened is that VLR did not know this at the time, I believe. They probably, I don't know, something slipped through the cracks. And basically they said that our talents have been withdrawn from the karaoke redirect relay as we do not want to violate our no male collaborations policy. We are sorry for disappointing anyone who may have been looking forward to it, but we are resolute in staying true to our rules. I guess it depends on the reasoning. Well, that's interesting. So like, is there anyone who's like, yeah, I really like the no male collaborations policy? Like, is there anyone who's like, I really like it? It's VLR. Yeah, so I'll explain the details, but I want to just like get the opinions. Is there anyone who's like no, this is bad, like this is bad, this is, you know, this is immoral or whatever? Is it good? I didn't know this. By the way, for those who don't know, HoloLive has that too. A fun fact, that's where it comes from. HoloLive actually, here, I'll give you a little bit of a history lesson actually. Can't people just collab with whoever? Not if you're in VLR and not if you're in HoloLive. In fact, like, actually, there was a big thing. So what happened is, I think it was in 2021, HoloLive had their, I think, EN branch do collaborations with their HoloStars, which is the male idols of HoloLive. HoloStars is male, HoloLive is female. And they had the collaborations going between them. And what happened is there was a lot of backfire from parasocial viewers. And what happened is, it was so bad, the company banned any collabs with male and female collaborators. Males only, females only. There was not, like, and you know, it's funny, generally speaking, male HoloStars, they can't interact with HoloLive talents either. Like, I haven't seen a HoloStar tweet about a HoloLive member unless they're in a different branch. Heck, what? No, this is real. It's the K-pop industry all over. See, I was actually going to bring that up because before HoloLive, this was very, very rampant in the K-pop and J-pop and just the idol culture. Because the thing is that, like, the vast majority of the way they earn money is through the parasocial relationship between the viewer and the streamer, right? Ollie did a collab with Draw. That's the thing. I think it's because they're not main branch. And also, I feel like very specific HoloLive members have distinct privileges. Like, Ollie can collaborate with Ollie collaborates with a lot of people in HoloStars. She collaborates with a lot of people that are indie. She does a lot of that stuff. She's one of the exceptions, not the rule. And what's fascinating about it is now we're seeing it in other companies too. Now, we've seen this before, but this is very recent. But the thing that's fascinating is that they're not collabing. They're doing a relay, which for those who don't know is you sing for an hour and then you redirect on YouTube, it's called, to another streamer, and then you keep going. But VLR is so brand conscientious that they don't even want to risk that. I don't get that rule, to be honest. I do. I don't agree with it, but I completely understand from a business perspective. Imagine for a moment, take a second. Now, this is going to be a little bit on the cheek here, but I want you guys to, like I said, I'm trying to explain what's going on. So if there's something sensitive about it, that's okay. We'll move past this. But what happens is that you have a lot of people who are very emotionally unavailable or very just broken, you can say, who end up finding individuals like streamers who have I guess you could say something that they really like, for example, and they legitimately parasocially fall in love with them. Now, imagine if you're in love with someone, IRL. Now, we're separating this from online to IRL. Imagine you're in school, you're in high school, everyone's had this experience, and you're in love with someone or you really like someone. It kind of pisses you off when you see them hang out with another guy because it makes you jealous, it makes you upset. Now, this is very high school drama, but that's exactly what's going on here. They're jealous. And unfortunately, there were some pretty serious stuff that people were going to do if HoloLive didn't pony up. Never felt that? Well, maybe for better, I don't know. But basically, the reason why this happened was because the point is that you only have to work on yourself. Well, that's the thing. That's the thing, Katya. They don't work on themselves. They don't care. They want to get their dopamine. They want their stream. And who is HoloLive to tell them to get a life? Their existence as a company depends on a viewer's ability to donate. It's a catch-22. In my opinion, the catering to the worst elements of the community. Well, the thing is that that's what happens when you're a big company. You have to kowtow to the zeitgeist, which is a fancy way of saying you have to bow down to what everyone wants. Otherwise, you dip away into nothingness. Unless, well, the alternative is that you stand your ground and you lose 90% of your viewership, which I've seen. I've literally seen streamers just like, I'm not backing down on this, I'm right. Pirate software. Like, stuff like that. Sure, they may be right, but that no one cares. No one cares if you're right. If you hurt their feelings, that's more than enough. But I find my personal opinion on this, the reason why I like this and also don't like it is there's two coins. There are one coin with two sides. One side of the coin is nice because a lot of the times I will admit, and this is something that's very unfortunate in the VTuber community, I have never well, I've seen it once. I've seen a male, well, actually, I haven't seen a VTuber. I haven't seen a VTuber be this way, but there are VTubers who are very, very creepy. And what I mean by that is there are a lot of male VTubers who have in the past basically been guilty of being very creepy, where instead of, streaming to have fun and make friends and build a community and do that, they basically use their platform as a way to get in with girls and use that as an opportunity to kind of like date and get close to people. And while, you know, I think that it's natural for individuals who actually love each other or care about each other to get close, which I think is perfectly fine, if they're streamers, whatever. But unfortunately, there's been a lot of people who have been very creepy. So we have to walk with a grain of salt there. So that does exist. But I personally feel that is so small, like it happens so little. But the thing is that it's not about how often it happens, it's about how awful it is, right? Like Cinder, for example. Well, actually, Cinder's a bad example, I apologize. But, you know, if you had let's say you're a girl, right? Let's say you're a female streamer, female VTuber, and you have a really bad experience with a male VTuber. You're never really going to lose that. You're always going to have that in the back of your head, like, oh yeah, this was not very good. This kind of, So there's a lot of VTubers who like, you know, I'll let Shondo do it. This is kind of what, this is what happens when a lot of male viewers see another male on stream. You know, just again for good effect. I think Shondo put it really well. I think Shondo put it really well. That's kind of what happens when parasocial viewers see their favorite streamer with a member of the opposite sex. It's crazy. That happened there like 2 years ago. There was this VTuber guy I love to watch, but he turned out to be one of those creeps. Yeah, like in Nichi Sanji, Astro Arcadia, like even after he graduated, he was like, yeah, I did it. Okay. I'm just like, dude, what the fuck? So I understand why they have it, but it kind of screws every single male VTuber, right? Because I'm going to do a little bit of backtracking. Let me make sure I catch up with you guys. It's fine to be Delulu in your head, but don't let it affect others. I'm the same way. I think that you can be parasocial with a streamer. Just don't be fucking weird. And if you're weird, get some help. X-Ray Nuzzles pounces on you. Ooh, you're so warm. I need the help. Help me. Logic. They don't know what that is, guys. That's also wild to me. I cannot comprehend a dude going, the easiest way to find someone will create... Well, the reason why they do it, I think the reason why they do it is because they have a lot of self-esteem issues. They have a lot of like issues going on, and being online and being a streamer empowers them and justifies them and raises their self-esteem. And they get that, like, you know, that I guess you could say that dopamine, I guess you could say. And that causes them to be a bit more bold, and they assume that, oh, it'll work out. But in reality, it's the pride before the fall, you know? They want to be adored. You know, maybe that's what it is. I think ultimately at the same time, I think it's like, I think that, because it isn't just a male VTuber thing, it's also a streamer thing. I've noticed that a lot of the streamers that do that are typically people who were kind of like me, like losers, who basically ended up getting a following and ended up getting some pull or motion. And that ended up causing them to get an inflated ego. And then also because they had to live up to their reputation and their expectations of their community, they felt they needed to do other things. And through doing that, they thought, well, I could also get in with like these streamers and also, hey, what if I find my wife, or what, you know, stupid guy stuff. But it takes a lot of effort and patience to control that. And I think that they just don't have it. Will you power trip us? I just got here. No. I mean, like, I'm going to talk about something else, but I don't think I'll ever be in a position where I'll have that power to begin with. I mean, this is not a humble brag. This is kind of like, hey, I'm a warning, really. Like, I've had some unimaginable amount of power over people, and I have hated every single second of it. In fact, I did everything in my power to get rid of it. I'm happy to report I don't have that power anymore. It's great. Just in my line of work. And the thing that's fascinating is that, a lot of people, when they get that power, they want to use it, they want to abuse it, and they want to exert the power, not because they want to use it, but because they want other people to know that they have it. That's the big thing. But when you get power over people or for people, you have to treat it like a newborn baby, and if you drop it even once, that's crucify yourself. So, but a lot of people don't have that. Like the male VTubers that get in a lot of problems and a lot of issues are typically kids that are 18 to 22, or like 22 to 25. Hell, they may even be in their late 20s, and they just don't have the social acuity and the social mentality to understand like what's okay and what's not, because they've never been in a relationship before. You know, they finally get female attention and they go crazy and stuff like that. And it happens, but the thing is that they don't stop themselves. I'm just bad at remembering to keep touch in line. Yeah, I don't force anything either. So if I forget, I forget. I hate getting power. It puts me in a spotlight. I'm the same way. I always end up finding myself in positions of power, but I hate using it, which is one of the reasons why I stay. Preach VTuber mint. Let's go. Yeah. To be honest, not even now. Not even we know. Rough estimation 670. Yeah. But the golden bow on that one, at least, is I understand why they have this policy. The VLR, for those who don't know, is a agency that relies along female streamers. I don't know if they have other streamers. I think it's just female streamers who are also sex workers. So for those who don't know, OnlyFans, etc. So their main, if not the primary source of revenue, is men, typically. So the way that you protect that is that you have only female collaborations, so you don't mess up the fantasy they're trying to sell you. I'm 26, and honestly, sometimes I just want to be praised. Yeah, like, it's a human thing. It's not a bad thing to want praise. It's not a bad thing to want power. It's not a bad thing to want joy and happiness and wealth. It's a bad thing to go about it in the wrong way. It's totally fine to want to have a yacht. I think everyone wants a yacht. But we need to pay for Riku's second, you know what I mean? Anyway, that a little bit dig at Nichi Sanji, but so basically I'm in a loud place, so I heard tidbits. Fans got jealous that their streamer that was meant for them is talking to a person of the opposite sex and some, yeah, and they think that they're dating. That, yeah, exactly. You're right on the nail next door. If they're sex workers, then yeah, they can set whatever boundaries they're okay. I didn't know that. Well, yeah, that's the thing. But the reason I didn't lead with that is because I didn't want to prejudice your opinion. I didn't want to change the way that you would answer, because this is a big, it's like, Hololive has this policy. VLR has this policy. Nichi Sanji, I think on the EN branch doesn't have it. Like, Nichi Sanji EN is actually, I'll be honest with you, the one thing that Nichi Sanji did that I really do appreciate and I really do love when Nichi Sanji was good, I guess you could say, was they had a lot of interactions between their male and female talents. And I thought it was really nice because the communities didn't get weird about it. They just like said, oh, they're just friends. And it was really nice. But everywhere else, it's like, no, like, you know, even on Twitter, like, HoloStars can't interact with HoloLive members unless you're like Ollie, because Ollie is like some crazy exception for some reason. But yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, it's crazy. I deadass know I cannot be trusted with the power. Even if I know I have the power, I just feel like using it. I have an ego, but, well, I mean, like I said, you know, the thing about ego and the thing about power is that you don't know what you're like when you have power until you have it. You know, like for me, whenever I get it, I get extremely stressed out and anxious because I don't like having it. Like, if it's something that I can just like, oh, it's like I have it, but like I don't have to use it, that's fine. I forget about it. Honestly, there's been times where I'm like, wait, I can do this. I forgot when I really need it. I'm like, oh yeah, because I don't like using it. I like being like everyone else. It feels really good. But yeah, it's you know, nothing like me and Edwin. Preach. But this is also one of the things that leads into my next discussion. Something very fascinating is these policies are not incentivized by the talents necessarily. Like, I know there probably are talents in VLR who don't want to collapse with males just because, like, you know, I have heard that collaborating with a guy versus a girl is a little bit more difficult for female streamers. I don't know why, but I've heard that. I don't know if it's true, but that's what I've heard through the grapevine. So it makes sense why they have these policies. And at the end of the day, personally, even though I don't like it because it's not good for male VTubers, I think it's good because you're establishing very fierce and firm boundaries and you're not letting people tread on it, you know? It's good to have friends that can turn a peg down from you. Yeah, exactly. But the thing as well, and the problem, I think, and the thing that's realistically difficult about this is, what about male VTubers, right? It can be true. I felt that way when I streamed. Yeah, you know, you have to be very careful because you're not just guarding your safe space, you're also guarding your joy, your escapism. Like, I think I wrote a tweet to a VTuber. I know what their name is, but I don't want to mess it up. But basically, like, oh, like, why are people surprised when VTubers jump from one company to another? And it's like fear of change, and also like they don't want to like hang out with a lot of people because they're weird. And it's just like things change, and sometimes things change to where you just don't want to hang out with them. But that also brings me to the main motivator for why this exists. Mu and Inanaku, I do not know if any of these numbers are necessarily realistic from a VTuber perspective, which means that I don't know if this is actually like something realistic for VTubers that actually are full-time. But basically, they go into like, agencies don't make a lot of money. That's one of the reasons why, if you're in the VTuber community, you'll see a lot of VTuber agencies rise and fall, but they don't stay for very long. Like, for example, just a few days ago, Oh, hold on, wrong one. For those who don't know, Eva Ananova severed her agreement with Vivid and left. Let's see. Banana Channel also severed their contract with Vivid. And these agencies don't last very long because it's expensive. And I'm going to get into that a little bit, but I'm going to preface with a few things before. Most guys would take a different approach to me once they saw me, so I had to constantly make sure they didn't keep hitting on me, which was exhausting. That's why it was easier with girls. Well, the other thing, too, is that, like, I will say that, okay, last thing on this. I believe that there is an exception to this. If you're a femboy and you're gay. I think there is an exception to this. I've actually seen this in the wild where a female talent or a female streamer will or female VTuber will never interact with male VTubers, but they will interact with like very openly gay or femboys. And I say femboys as a way to like, it's a blanket term. It's not meant to be offensive. It's just like I'm trying to be descriptive here. As a business model, it doesn't make too much. Yeah, no, like VTubers don't make that much money. Like if we really if we were able to get down the numbers, like the only way you're making a lot of money is if you're in Hololive or Nijisan. Well, Nijisan, some people didn't make any money at all, you know. But I think that, you know, when it comes down to getting hit on, right, like if you don't mind me asking, were you a face cam streamer or were you a VTuber? Because if you were a face cam streamer, like one of the things that sucks about being a female streamer as a face cam streamer is the fact, like literally the fact that no matter what you do, people are going to have some sort of infatuation with you based upon your visual looks. So it's kind of difficult because I imagine this is something you struggled with, depending on, you know, your level of activity, where you're not really sure who's in it for you and who's in it for something else, you know, which is a very dangerous place to be because it's like it can build trust issues, right? But the thing about it is, I think that if you have very firm boundaries, like for example, like let's say like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of like a woman that's like everyone. Okay, Eve from Stellar Blade, right? Like let's say you look like Eve from Stellar Blade 1-to-1, right? If you set up extremely firm and very sincere boundaries, there's no way that you have to worry about that stuff. But that's really, really hard. In fact, the one thing I see the most that female streamers struggle with is the fact that they have a really hard time putting down boundaries. And those boundaries are literally integral for your piece. And if you don't have those boundaries, everything goes to shit, unfortunately. I wonder where you would fall on this, says Cal. I don't identify as a man, but I'm more masculine presenting. I think, you know, okay, I gotta be very careful how I say this. So let me take a drink and really think about this. I believe that this is an issue that ignores your identity. It's not an issue where, if for example, let's say you identify as trans or you identify as another gender than what you're born with, I think that doesn't matter in these choices. I think legitimately the choices are based off of your biology. I think that it like I said, the exception to that rule was, the exception to this rule was, well, if they're gay, then they're not going to be creepy, right? Because, you know, they're gay. They're not interested in you. However, at the same time, even if you're gay, that doesn't mean that you're not going to be weird, right? It's not a, God damn it. I hate anonymous followers. Thank you for the follow. Never following tops. I'm glad you're here. I'm breaking my rule fuck you. No. Anyway, but God. They know I hate you guys. What? There was someone who followed me, literally called Never Following Tops. There's some people who follow me that they have wild usernames. Like legitimately, I sit here and I'm like, there was one guy that was like, I like feet. I'm like, I'm glad I have anonymous follows on. I don't even want to entertain that. Like, I'm like, do you guys just make burner accounts to screw? Anyway, I need to get on topic. I'm literally getting off this. But in regards to boundaries, right? You know, they keep getting pushed and not respected. So you can set boundaries, but a lot don't give it. That's the other thing too, right? When you set a boundary, the thing to understand about boundaries, which I think a lot of people lose issues with, is if you don't enforce a boundary, it doesn't exist. So yes, there are going to be people who break that boundary, but you have to be firm. Otherwise, they're going to break the rule again because they got away with it the first time, you know? But that's also one of the reasons why, like, you know, for example, Katya, like, I'm not trying to rope you into it, but, like, for example, like, have you considered VTubing? then you wouldn't have to deal with people judging you based off your physical appearance, and they would only have the content of your character, the merit of your actions, and the sound of your voice. Those are the only 3 things they can judge you on. I would say consider it. I really would. I think that there's a lot of streamers who quit, not necessarily because of streaming, but because of the consequences of it. And I hope that you don't do that because of it, you know? I hope that everyone who starts streaming just streams in a way that it brings them joy, you know? Wild statement. I know, it's crazy. But that also, you know, brings up why this policy exists. It exists because money, you know? You did try it, but I now focus on my work in mental health care. Yeah, because the reason why, I mean, obviously feel free to tell me as much as you want to. Never feel forced to say anything. But I think a lot of the reasons why streamers in general don't, for any way, shape, or form, really, like, do hydrate. I am hydrating. Thank you, Elliot. Also, someone else said hydrate as well. Where was it? Thank you. Hold on, let me drink water. So, one thing I need you guys to understand about business. This is something that you guys need to know before, like, we jump into this conversation. So let's say, for example, you're earning as an employee $5,000 a month. Okay, that's like, I think it's like 60 grand a year. I don't know. My brain is bad, but I think Cal, you're a math. You do math. How much is 60K a year? Anyway, let's say you're earning 60K a year, 5,000 a month, right? That's a lot of money. I think everyone would be happy with 5K a month, and that's post-tax. Like, you would be really happy with that, right? Now, that's just you. From a business, you have a lot of expenses. You mathed right, let's go. So from a business, $20,000 to $30,000 a month in money going in and out is actually very low. Most businesses, if you look at their account receivable and accounts payable, there are millions of dollars going in between them. That's why accountants exist. But also, what you'll notice here is that in this photo, at least, like, you'll see, you know, to have a single manager, you would need 5 talents that you would need have to $10,000 of revenue. Now, YouTube is going to steal 30% of that, so that's $3,000 already gone. Oh, let me capture my cursor. Oh, sorry. I'm scared of men. No, I'm kidding. Let me capture cursor. Oh, it is capturing cursor. Okay, it's just broken. My bad. But yeah, so YouTube steals 30% of it. So your take home is actually 7K. Then your income, let's say you have a 50% split, which is pretty generous. Like, most talent agencies take way more. That's 3,500. So you only come back after earning by yourself, by the way, $10,000, you know, you only take home 3.5 because you're paying for your manager to be useless, you know? So for example, the person that did this did a little bit of, I'll summarize a little bit. But you know, it's like, in order to have one full-time staff member making 40K a year. So if a manager is making 40K, you need to make so much more. And this is why they die. The reason companies die, especially talent agencies, is they just don't, like, VTubing is not a profitable endeavor unless you're really, really good at it, or you have something very specific. Like, for example, Iron Mouse is a great example of a perfect VTuber. She is a literal cinnamon roll. She's one of the greatest people in the VTubing market ever. Always does her best to raise money for the Immunity Deficiency Foundation, not the IDF, not the Israeli Defense Force. She does all these things to help rise people up. Also, yeah, love Kenji. Kenji's fun. If I had an ounce of how funny Kenji was, I would be so much better off. Anyway, but you know, I'll cry about that later. But there's very little profit to be made here. And the thing that sucks is that I am going to talk about something additional as well when it comes down to, like, I'll see, did I do that? No, I didn't. Damn. So there was a thing where, how do I put this? By the way, ads are coming up. If you're new here, go to YouTube. You can skip them. You don't trust me. I don't need the 3.5 quarters of a cent. Okay, I'll be honest with you. We can cry together about it. Based. Yeah. Okay. Let me get back on track because my brain is kind of short-circuiting here. I've been asked a lot of times over the years. Well, I say years, but it's only been. Holy crap, it's been a year and 8 months. Oh God. Anyway, the point is that Like, Raz, why don't you go corpo? Why don't you do that? One, this is kind of what you have to deal with. So I don't like other people making money because I made money. Because do not become a seller. I don't need to. It's great. I mean, the main reason is like, hell no, I want creative freedom. Like, hell no. I want to be able to sit here and talk about drama for an hour. Like, I absolutely want to do that, you know? But the reason why is because there's no financial reason for it. There's no financial reason to join a corporation. Now, actually, fantastic point here. If you were planning on doing like joining an agency or something like that, don't do that. Just get a few of your friends and, you know, like do it like a matter of fact thing. Like, don't do it whenever you need to get contracts involved. That's when things get problematic. But I think you don't need a manager. I don't think you need that. And I think also, oh man, hold on. I have a lot of controversial takes, but I need to be careful about how I say them. Unless you're bringing in about, I'd say $4,000 a month, for 6 months. Unless you, well, actually, no, that's wrong. If you can bring in your monthly requirement for bills, then you can go full time, because then you can sustain yourself off of it. But the catch-22 of this is, unfortunately and realistically, there's not a lot of profit in it. Want to join my corporation? Yeah, send the offer over. I'll sign it. I've been in this damn bay for so damn long. I'm waiting for Raz 2.0 is coming along, but damn it, guys, I know. Trust me, you guys don't know anything about it. I do. It's coming. Don't worry. And I will say, Raz 2.0. I've been told my voice is handsome. When you see Raz 2.0, boy, it's gonna be beautiful. Anyway, back on topic. I'm literally getting all over the place here. But agencies don't make any actual profit. Like, VLR, I think, is barely floating, personally. I think that they're doing a really good job. They do also have the edge where they aren't just doing, haha, pun intended, I guess. They are also doing content that is a little bit extra than what you would normally see in an agency. Like, for example, you'll see, like, because they do SW, they do sex work, they have a different niche market that they can really capitalize on top of the normal things you see. So typical things that you see in female VTubers and VLR is like collaborations, you know, individual streams, ASMR, you know, merchandising, things like that. That's really the only ways you can make a lot of money, or any money really whatsoever. But the thing about it is that even though they have that advantage, you have to be able to use the money that you earn to make streams better, because streamers live and die by virtue of what they're able to provide, you know? And the thing that sucks about that is it's not really a bad thing. It's just, it is what it is, right? If, for example, you have an individual who says they're an, oh God, what is a good example here? Let's say they're a history VTuber, right? And they work for 2 years and they just do history. And then all of a sudden they start doing other stuff. It'll kill their channel. And the reason why is because they built a community around that one thing and now they're not doing it. So similarly, if you just kind of stagnate, everything kind of stacks. I'm kind of I'm a bit, how do I say this? It's my fault that I'm stagnating, but the reason why I'm stagnating is because of the fact that I'm waiting for everything on Raz 2.0. Because the most important thing for a streamer is not what they're doing, but how people perceive them. And that perspective is important. And it's not because like they're trying to, you know, manipulate you, or I'm trying to manipulate you to see me as something else. No, it's just that, imagine if, for example, hypothetical, we have thousands of viewers. You know, the channel is making thousands of dollars, which, by the way, for everyone who doesn't know, every dollar that goes to this account stays on this account. It doesn't come out. It only goes back into the stream. But if I were to use all that money and I built a community around Raz 1.0, this model right here, then if I were to go to Raz 2.0, you're going to be like, hey, hold on a second here. This is really too much. Has anyone here stopped watching a creator or a VTuber because they changed their model, or they changed their outfits, or they changed the way they acted? I have. And the thing that's funny is it's the same person, but the outfit really sells it. It really is like them. It's like, for example, if you see a nerd, like imagine a nerd, like, you know, glasses, you know, you got the Band-Aid on the nose because the chafing from the bar, you know, you've got the acne and everything like that. But neck down, like he's in a jock outfit. He's got like, you know, he's got the football gear on, like he's shredded. Like it would kind of mess you up. Now, maybe you're into that, but generally speaking, it's very, very like grating. You know what I mean? No, but I only watch a few regularly. Yeah. So it's like, you know, for me, right? Like the reason why I stopped watching, I'm not going to say who it is, but there was a streamer that I was watching that they changed their model and it literally made me stop watching. And it wasn't because the model was bad. It was because I was so used to this VTuber with this model that it wonked me out. I still do go back and watch their clips, admittedly, and sometimes their streams, but nowhere near as much as before. And you can't control that. It's just part of it. But this is also one of the things that's really vital about this situation is look at the revenue here. If one stream, not stream, but like your revenue per month on a stream is $1,000, right? Now, by the way, you have to also keep in mind that this is not a fully representative spreadsheet because it's not taking into account 1099 taxes, which, by the way, yes, if you get taxed on your earnings, sadly. And by the way, you have to keep your earnings. So yeah, don't spend all your money, fellow streamers. But the stream revenue, if you earn $1,000 a month, you need to set about $100 aside for taxes. You have $350 to take home, which, by the way, if you use that for anything else except improving stream, you're gonna fall behind, right? I watched Kenji for years by now. I've gotten used to 10 different models, including the other ones. But here's the thing. Kenji is just, you don't watch Kenji for his model. You watch Kenji for Kenji. And the thing that's funny, maybe the reason, actually, now I'm thinking about it. No, the reason I stopped watching that VTuber was because the model they got did not match their personality. And it was too much. It was too much. Love the streamer, fantastic streamer, adore them. But the outfit, the thing change, it just messed my brain up. It turns out people are confused when their physics TA looks like a star. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like that's basically what happened to me. But it's just not profitable. And this is why you see Eva Anna Nova leave Vivid, because it doesn't make any sense to stay in an agency that doesn't befit you. In fact, I think she actually slandered the company here. But welcome in, Sin. Welcome in, Zoo. Let's see here. So obviously she gets the you know, like just basically saying like she's talking to us. She's talking to the viewers, right? You know, I love you guys. I'm grateful. It's amazing. My manager is great. It's been bumpy, but I don't regret it. Things got rough after the debut. Lack of communication, delays in editors' payment, project delays, merchandise. So basically everything that makes you money was delayed. So the whole reason people join agencies is for two reasons. One, more money. Two, guaranteed collab partners. Like imagine for a moment you guys have someone that you can always collab with forever. I'm gonna go to sleep. Good night, Glitch. Don't let the bed bugs bite. I was gonna say something else, but yeah, have a good night, Glitch. We're gonna be chilling out. I gotta hit my 2 hours slot, right? But you know, she exited with her own IP. There's not a lot of VTubers who are able to say like, oh, you know, why, you know, I fucking hate tits. I swear to God, Twitch integrated throwing system sucks. 3 a.m. here, I'm screwed. Hello, governor. Hello. How's it over there in Great Britain? Yeah. You drinking some Guinness, yeah. All right, now that I've offended the entirety of the United Kingdom, let's move on, shall we? But you know, she was talking about like there's delays in everything that's important. Damn, it's Denmark, you silly. I want to go to Denmark so badly. Just like sidebar. In terms of visiting Europe, I want to go to the United Kingdom because there's a lot of places I want to visit. But after that, it's probably going to be Germany and Poland, and then it would be going up to like Sweden, Denmark, Norway, just like because it's beautiful. Like legitimately, like every time like there's this guy who, end of the sidebar coming up shortly, there's a guy who sails and he's from Denmark, and every time he's in Denmark it's just like unimaginably beautiful. Like everything. I mean, you die in like 10 minutes because you can die from hypothermia, but it's so beautiful. I just bought my own house. Feel free to come over. I will abuse that. I will sleep on the front porch because I don't want to be weird. Like, I don't know if anyone else is like this, but like whenever I have friends invite me over, I make sure that I'm very clear on like what I can do. Because I haven't gone to a friend's house in a long time, but I'm like, hey, like, where do you want me to sleep? You know, what is our plan for tomorrow? Blah, blah, blah. And funny enough, whenever it's like, hey, I'm going to sleep, that's when I go to sleep. I try not to stay up because it's like, anyway, I don't want to make people feel weird, you know? But anyway, sidebar over, back on the facts. But that's why agencies have all these problems, right? There's, you know, like they basically so you can kind of read between the lines of what their contract was. So basically they're no longer affiliated with the company and they both bought back their IP. So they both bought back their models. I could not imagine. I literally would want to die if let's say, okay, it's never gonna happen, but let's say I apply to Hollow Stars. I get into Hollow Stars, which I would never happen. But let's say I did build a wonderful community that I absolutely love and adore. And then I have to leave because the company is doo-doo pookie. Okay. And then I don't have that model. So literally the person that I am exists in videos, but I can never talk to it again. It's just like, I would die, which is why like the worst I'll do is like a face connect thing where like, you know, like the only thing that really changes is you have face connect in your name. You keep your IP and stuff. Kind of like V Shoujo before it kind of went absolutely destructive, you know? I'm sick and tired of barren mountains in my country. I want cold weather, forested, cool, and wild cryptids. I feel that. Yeah, my go-to like temperature is 100% like I want all 4 seasons, but I don't want summer to be hot. And it's like that doesn't really exist. Although, speaking of agencies sucking, this one is probably gonna hurt a few of you guys, so I apologize for bringing it back up. But Raztavi Lovelock is going to be graduating on the 29th of August. So if you've watched Nichi Sanji EN, Raztavi Lovelock is probably the like kind of the jelly bean, I guess you could say, that I've never heard a single bad thing about Raztavi ever. Like literally even in the mines, I've never heard anything bad about her. And if she's even leaving, it's insane. You know, I think she cited like management or whatever. Yeah, no. In her live stream, she cited it was like management issues. She was like, I don't agree with management, which is basically the legal way of saying like, I have some serious problems, but I'm legally not allowed to tell you. And then also you see as well, another fascinating thing that kind of ties into what I was saying about making money. There are a lot of Nichi Sanji talents who actually have full-time 9-to-5s, but they also stream. So it shows you how difficult it is to actually be in as a full-time streamer on Twitch or as a VTuber. So, you know, me, I'm really disadvantaged. One, I'm male. So that's I already got the debuff, right? Two, even if you do get that market success, unless you're like Kenji, for example, you know, she was saying like, I walked past a coworker's cubicle and got that mail. Yeah, exactly. I know. Womp womp. Womp womp. It's so sad. But this is kind of what happens when you have a really new, honestly, a brand new frontier for businesses. And I think when COVID happened, when HoloLive, Nichi Sanji, and all the agencies got big, that was fine because everyone was online. But now that it's been 5 years since that, which by the way is insane, it's going to be 6 in 4 months. It's incredible. What's ended up happening is, for lack of a better word, well, how do I put this? The desire or the demand for the product is not as high. And also I feel like nowadays most people are watching indies. Like for example, in Nichi Sanji, I watched a lot of K9 Kuro, or sorry, Mr. Ria, so fuck. Anyway, whatever, screw it. Everyone knows, everyone, goo goo gaba gaba gee, okay? Mr. Rias, Mika Malatika, Fox Mom, oh god, I forgot her name in Nichi. But anyway, you know, like, you know, Matara, K9 Kuro, Micha Michivi. I actually watch their streams, you know? And I enjoy them because I'm also like, how the hell, like, how do I become a better streamer? I need to watch from them. And Michi for the past 3 days have just been like sitting there reacting. I'm like, smart. But also like HoloLife for me, like my Kamiyoshi was Sarah's Fauna. That was my go-to. And after she left, like she's still the same person, but it's not the same. It's like, But enough crying about me. Nina Kosaka. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Nina Kosaka. But these VTubers, these streamers, they learned that I think what they figured out is that it's really nice to have a manager. It's really nice to have a company that does all the monotonous BS for you, like taxes, which, by the way, Niji didn't do that for Kuro. Womp womp. That was insane. I remember, like, what do you mean you owe 20 grand in taxes? What the hell? Like, they hire an accountant to do... Anyway. It just shows you how bad the business is. Womp womp, yeah. But I think, really, honestly, the only thing you would need a manager for is, like, advice. Like, there was... I won't say what it is, because I'm going to say a little bit, like, on-the-nose things, but there are people who will say, I want to be a manager for you, and they'll be like, oh, my rate is $150 an hour. And I'm like, homie, what? 150 for consulting? And their resume is like, oh, I've been doing this for 4 years, but they don't list the talents that they've mentored. And I'm like, what? Imagine I showed up to a job interview. Imagine I showed up to a job interview and I said, I'm a manager. I've been in this business for 4 years. I'm really good. Okay. And not only that, but they ask you, oh, well, who did you mentor? Who are you managing? Like, it's just such a gotcha. I'll be yours for $100 an hour. Don't. They do it different in Denmark, huh? I still owe 51K to the bank. Let's go. Let's go. That credit must be popping then. I hope. I don't know. But all that's to say, I think that when it comes down to managing, there is definitely an advantage in having someone who's seen what works and what doesn't. You're a manager? I'm used to Ronnie saying some wild... Ronnie, are you here? Are you here? I'm used to... Okay, Ronnie is the reason why I'm always on guard, because Ronnie says some wild shit. I'll do it for some chicken butter and IPA. Done, honestly. But the thing that's funny to me is that, you know, I think that really what they should do is lower the rate so it's approachable. Like, if I said, hey, I'm a streamer who I've been streaming for a year and a half now. You will pay me $30 and we'll sit and talk for an hour. And you will, you know, let's say, like, you're like, hey, I want to talk about this. I will prepare everything for you. Even if I give you the most dog water advice, $30 is a really good deal. Because what if you learn something, you know? Like, what if I tell you that it's actually better to make content on YouTube than it is to stream? Like, I think that's worth $30. Don't worry, is MX, so it can be paid very easily. Nice. Better yet, hire a professional accountant. Yeah, like the trifecta is you want your own lawyer, you want your own tax accountant, and I think, what was it? Lawyer, accountant. Oh, and what is it called? Bank investor. You want your own guy on like Wall Street to like invest your stuff, and then they'll basically like probably not even beat the Dow. So, I mean, hey, if you're doing 5% a year, that's pretty good. Manager, yeah, I mean, yeah, you could. My parents are lawyers, but I don't want them anywhere near this. Yeah, I have a rule that one, I don't hire my friends or my family. No thanks. Because if you fuck up my taxes, I think I will kill you. You know what I mean? Like, I will kill you. Like, what do you mean? Like, I don't think a lot of people know what it's like to get a letter from the IRS saying, hello, this is an audit. I haven't. A company I worked for did, and I was like, oh, I freaked out on behalf of them, and I'm like, hey, I'm good. I have no liability. But yeah, money when it comes down to VTubing, you're not really gonna make it. I mean, make money. Maybe you'll make it as a streamer, but I mean, like, making money, like Ayamare, right? This was on the 12th. I walked past a coworker's cubicle and it looked like she was crying. Nice M dash. Her face was kind of reddish and she was blowing her nose with a tissue. I sent her a message on Teams, which, by the way, I know for a fact she's not on Teams. Who is calling me? It's 8:30 in the fucking evening. Who is... Oh, it's an 888 number. Great. Hey guys, should I answer it and talk to the scammer that's trying... No, I'm kidding. I don't need more. But yeah, I had tea and snacks and it says she just had allergies. I'm gonna try to go to sleep, but it was lovely meeting you. How about going? I will see you very soon. Do it? No. If I answer it, they're gonna add me to a list and then I'm gonna get even more. Oh, they're leaving a voicemail. Let's see what it is. By the way, fun fact, like, if I don't have any, but if a bill collector calls you after like 5 p.m., you can like sue them. It's great. The new Jim Browning. Who the hell is Jim Browning? Is he the guy that does the scam calls? Okay, I can't actually say. I can't say what it actually is, but it is. Wait, no. Can I talk? Okay, so hold on. Can I talk about this? Okay, yeah, I can. Okay, so like, I fucked up, and I've been like, so for those who don't know, you should always like redress your resume every like year or so. Hi, Volatile, welcome in. Hi. And basically, I just got a phone call from someone who is trying to sell me their like, you know how online they're like, oh, redo your resume. I accidentally, when I was applying for a job a while ago, accidentally fucked up and hit the check on their thing for like for reviewing the what is it? Reviewing the resume on Indeed, I think it was. Wait, was it? Yeah, it was Indeed. And yeah, now I've just been getting calls from them every now and again. So I think I'm just gonna block the number. Sorry for the sidebar. Could you hire my mother? She's very good at accounting, even though she's overqualified for any job that isn't a high-end position. I would if I could afford her. Like one of the sins that I have is that I don't like gypping people. Like if I'm going to hire someone, I'm going to pay them a good wage, not just a survivable wage, but a good wage, which is one of the reasons why I don't have employees. And also like, I don't even make enough to support myself. How could I afford to support her? You know, although I would love to. That would be fun. That would be nice. But have a good night. Good night sleep. Catch it. Wait. I'm gonna fuck up their name all day. It's not Katya, it's Katya. Wait, no, it's not Katya, it's Katya. Anyway, and maybe when we see her again, we'll I'll be corrected again. But the last thing I wanted to show, you know, no drama. We're done with drama, guys. And well, it wasn't even drama, but the key takeaways from this entire stream is this: one, ain't no party like a Diddy's party. Okay, I can't believe this isn't a real lawsuit for Roblox. I can't believe as well they put, where is it? This in there. Just insane. You know, their pathetic attempt at doing this, which hide your kids, hide your wives, you know, type situation. But also, no male collaborations. I still don't think it's bad, but I think it's one of the things where, like I said, two-sided coin. One side is, I'm happy that they are sticking to their guns and they're staying committed to a policy that they decided to make. And despite the fact I don't necessarily agree with it 100%, I'm glad that they have the balls to just say why they're not doing it, as well as just saying, yeah, no, we just don't do this, right? Does it put me in a disadvantaged position? No, but it also does lend more credibility to the fact that, you know, male VTubers are not very looked well upon, you know? And then also profitability too. Like, even if you are a female VTuber and you do ASMR and you do additional work like VLR does and other things like that, that doesn't guarantee that it's going to be enough to live off of. And we see this with IMRA. Like, I guarantee you that IMRA, I mean, she may not be working full-time, but she's probably working part-time, because I doubt that she would be in a cubicle at Niji Sanji. I mean, if I'm a talent at your agency and I don't get an office, I'm literally gonna crash out. Like, random little dunk on Indeed. Oh, I want to hear it. Oh, I want to hear it. I've been job hunting for the past few days. Godspeed. Legitimately, Godspeed. Tell me why they make it the hardest thing ever to simply apply for a job now. External link after external link. I'm not trying to make I know, right? Like, I don't apply to them. I just don't. You know, one thing I used to do, maybe this will help you, is I would, it's typically corporate jobs that do that, from what I've noticed. I will just email the CEO. It's worked for other people. It hasn't worked for me yet, but I'll just be like, hey, I saw a position for this thing. I would really love to, you know, provide value for a place that needs value, blah blah, you know, the stuff you normally send to CEOs, right? And sometimes they forward it to the hiring manager and you get an interview. But yeah, I don't bother making it anymore. I don't care. What's the worst they can do? They ignore the email. Bold move, but I like it's all a tip. I mean, because the thing is that, like, the reason why online, like, okay, you know, last tangent of the night. Last tangent before we get on to, like, good stuff. When it comes down to getting employment, what I've noticed the most difficult thing is actually getting in touch with a human being. Once you get in touch with a human being, it's really just a matter of, one, do you fit into their culture? Like, do they like you? Basically a likability contest. Two, you know, salary negotiations, right? You know, some people are very, very like, they want to burn you alive on it. Some people are very chill about it, right? Like my very first job, I got it through text message. And I was my first job, so I didn't negotiate. I should have, but it was my first job. And I was like, yeah, you know, do you agree for the salary? I'm like, yeah, sure. I'm like, you know, when can I come in? He's like, oh, Monday. And then I started on Monday. It was great. Like literally, and it was interesting because I sent I sent a resume via, I think it was Indeed or Zipper. I don't know. I don't remember anymore. I can't even find the original thing I sent in. And then I get a text from him, and he's like, hey, I need this, that, and the other. You know, I see you're this. I see you're brand new. You know, why should I hire you over someone else? And I'm like, oh, X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. And then he was like, yeah, okay. Will you take this salary? And I'm like, yes, please. I'm desperate. Love that job, by the way. Very, very difficult work, but it was a lot of fun. I kind of have a love and hate relationship with them, though. Like, if they asked me for something, I would help them, but I would, like, curse them behind their back. You know what I mean? One of those weird things. Honestly, it may actually put you in a brighter light. They'll sit there and ask, if they took time to email the CEO, what else are they willing to do? Yeah, like, a lot of people just respect ballsiness, I think. But, I mean, like, you do what you can, right? And that's also another big thing for the stream is, you know, even though Roblox is burning in fire and, you know, we've got a lot of talents graduating from Niji Sanji, we've got people severing from agencies because they just don't make money. The Snail's, hi, Snail, welcome back. It's good to see you. You were very quick. Is that characteristic of you? Are you Lightning McQueen for the Snails? I don't know. Well, you are a Galaxy Snail. Interesting. But last but not least, I do want to show you some cool stuff. I was scrolling Twitter the other day, and I saw this. So there is a thing called W Place. I need to be careful because, oh my God. I was looking at like cities in like America, because like, for example, in Japan, I think the default thing is Tokyo, right? Oh, this is cool. So it shows basically everything. It shows Japan. It shows actually everywhere. And it's really cool. So before we get into that, though, this is Iwo Jima, which is where the United States and the Japanese fought in World War II. And they basically had this little like mock battle here. I wish I had the link here. Where is it? I gotta be careful. They may have some sus stuff in the comments. Oh, they made it better. Look at this. They've got carriers. They've got B-2 stealth bombers. They've got the last image has a slur. Oh no. Yeah. Well, you know, if the VOD gets copyright, it's okay. You guys will look past it, right? Oh my God. Okay. So there's a little bit of things we have to be careful of because of the fact that you can literally draw anything. But yeah, I think this is a pretty good example. But you know, Tokyo is a great example. Like, look how much stuff there is, and it's all the way down to the pixel. Now, it's called wplace.live if you would like to see it yourself. But like, I was looking in the big cities. So in the United States, the big cities are Los Angeles. Sometimes the map doesn't work either, but I was looking at like Los Angeles, Houston. I was looking at DC. I was looking at New York. Don't look at New York. Okay, got you. I was also looking in other places too. Like, for example, like, what about the Dominican Republic? And I was going to show it, like I was going to spend an entire stream looking at it, but one, it doesn't work. Alabama's fucked. I can see why. But the thing that's fascinating about it is, you know, I think that if you're interested, oh God, if you're just interested in stuff, Grass Wonder, you know, you can find some beautiful things, you know, in many ways. True. However, I do have to say, in terms of content, in terms of stream, that's it. It's a little bit shorter. So you know what? Here's a pufferfish. Here's a pufferfish being, even if we're talking about big stuff, like look at that little butt. Look at him go. Look at him swim away. When I used to fish, like pufferfish were one of my favorite fishes to catch because whenever you caught them, like they would come out of the water and they would just grunt, just how do they make it? And then they just like look at you and they're like angry. But that is indeed all I have for you guys in terms of content. So now, I mean, any questions you want to ask, feel free. If they're a little bit too much for me, I will tell you. But despite that, I just realized that it's been cut off the entire stream. I could have been so cool. Also, fun fact, if you hit control 1, 2, 3, it'll switch through the tabs. Very fun. Hydrate, I should do that. That's a good thing. Oh, actually, I do have one last thing I can talk about. And let me go ahead and drink some. I have watermelon. Like, there's this watermelon infused water that's like it has like a bunch of electrolytes. It is so delicious. It's like cold pressed watermelon. I highly recommend. But the last thing, the actual last thing. I said stream was over. I'm a liar. I ain't no truther. For VTubers who do everything on their, and I think Cal, yeah, I saw Cal. So there's at least one VTuber I know, I think, that's here right now. Like, for everyone who does everything on your own, what is the most draining tasks? What is the worst thing? Like, what is the worst thing for you to make or to do? For me personally, it's always been editing. Like, I've actually gotten better with editing stuff recently because of the fact that, like, I've just been doing it so much. I've actually been trying to, like, my goal for going forward is, like, trying to get, like, 2 shorts out a week. You know, just get something that, like, you know, if you miss the stream, there's something for you. Banana bread? I'm not sure. Although I saw this thread and I was like, oh, you know, there we go. Like, we'll just, like, look at this for a little bit. But, I mean, this isn't exactly very interesting. But in terms of dreading, there isn't really anything too terrible about streaming. Like, honestly, if I'm being completely blunt with you guys, there isn't very much that I'm like, oh, I don't like this. Ah, this sucks. Yeah. Which is actually really nice. I haven't been really doing anything other than streaming for a few months because of work, which is really fun because you have a way to, like, get out of your head and get into calculon. That's a lightning strike that I failed to do, but, you know, it is what it is. But, you know, like I said, you know, this is a little bit of a targeted question, so sorry about that. But even so, it's nice to be here. So I will say that is the end of our React section, unless, like, you guys have something you want me to look at. But yeah, how do you guys feel about this type of stuff? I'm thinking, like, every Sunday we spend like an hour or like half an hour to an hour in the beginning, just kind of hanging out and talking. And then the rest of it is kind of just talking about things that are interesting. Not as, I mean, in today, at least, it was like drama regarding Roblox and, you know, agency stuff. But I think it's very fascinating because, I mean, obviously it's very important to me because I'm in the streaming world, right? But I think even if you're not in it, I think it's just interesting to look at and fun to talk about. And there's a lot of stuff we can glean from it. You know, talking about the problems of others can sometimes reveal lessons that you weren't otherwise going to be able to get. Like with, you know, Roblox, it's like, hey, like, don't be weird. The latest Peak Super Metroid hack dropped. Interesting. I don't have any skin in the game, but that's good. Honestly, like, when old games are not revitalized and they essentially die off, I really hate it. Like, one of my favorite FPS games of all time, Battlefield Bad Company 2, you can't buy it anymore. You can't even play it anymore. You have to, like, if you want to play online, you have to download a third-party client and acquire the game through other means. A man has fallen into the river in Lego City. True. It's been in development for like 10 years. That's how you know it, they love it. Like, legitimately, that's how you know they love it. And I think among all the other things, no men allowed. No males allowed. I will say, though, you know, I probably won't be doing this every Sunday because I really do enjoy, like, just having a stream where we talk and hang out. Because that is actually my favorite part of streaming. Like, I've said this so many times, but I really enjoy the fact that I can just sit here and talk to you guys and just see, like, what's going on. Like, for example, how was I going to know about the Super Metroid hack, like, coming out if somebody didn't tell me, you know? 13 years because it's also been the same by AM2R finished by the same time. Oh, so yeah, like, wow. There's a lot of people who haven't, like, who were born after the game started to be, wow, that's actually kind of insane. But I love streaming. Like, you know, even though we just talked about the fact that it's like near impossible to be profitable as a streamer individually or as a business, and also the fact that you have the male VTuber debuff even if you didn't do anything wrong, I still love this stuff. Like, I thought that one of the things that I was going to be afraid of is that I was going to quit because I got burned out. No way. And secondly, the only thing that I get angry about or frustrated is, like, how do I be better? You know? Like, where's the carrot? I want to follow it. But that's about it. Snail. You need an emote. I feel like you just need a like an emote that you just use. Like a 7TV emote. So you don't have to waste money. It's my favorite hobby I've ever picked up. Same. Like, You know, I talk about like, oh, you know how people have like trained autism or they have like hyper focus autism or something like that. Like that's me for streaming. Like it's actually really insane. Like by the way, I spent like 2 to 3 hours last night preparing for this stream. I don't think I've ever, like, besides work or school, I've never prepared for anything in my hobby or anything. So it's like, wow, I really gotta love it if I did work off stream. I love Super Metroid and Metroid Fusion, and the fact they made a new experience and made it a horror-like experience, yeah. The Stebio and Raztavi Riz, I love it. See, there you go, you got it. A very fast analysis, they say. Doro, Stebio Doro. Ah, life is good. I'm not gonna lie though, I didn't think that I would actually finish on time. My typical sin is that I go way longer than normal. So the fact that like we actually like finish the content section of the stream 30 minutes before I anticipate is actually really nice. Because now we can just hang out, just relax. By the way, what did you guys think of it? Do you guys want to see more of this? Because I actually kind of enjoy looking around and seeing like, what can we glean off from this information and what can we talk about? Snails approved. Okay, so we got one approved. Yes, yeah. Because I think that, you know, even if it isn't exactly the most like wholesome content, I guess you could say, I think it's really beneficial to learn about what's going on. And the thing that I know, don't worry, the one thing I do need to get better at is having better takes. Get good, Raz. But the good news is that like as we get better at it, it'll be more fun. And I think what will be nice is there's going to be a lot of lessons that kind of repeat over time, and it'll be really nice for you guys to like see that as well as I do. Because I've noticed, like, you know, going back to the female streamer situation, like Hatchet was talking about, like, you know, it's really difficult to be yourself online if you're a face cam streamer, because literally you are judged every second of the day by how you look like. And that's not a bad thing necessarily, but it does open doors to bad things, which is why there's that grain of salt. But there's also the thing that's fascinating alongside it, where even though that's true, there's a lot of things you can do to not stop it, but prevent most of it, right? Like how, you know, we were talking about boundaries, and that's not just true for streaming, it's also true IRL, you know, like, you know, if you have a friend that's very pushy, saying no is a complete sentence, you know? So things like that are really important. And, you know, coming up with the bravery and the courage to actually speak your mind is in and itself like its own victory and difficulty. And it's not just, oh, you do it once, you're fine. You have to do it every time you want to. So there's a lot of things you can glean from it. And I like the fact that even in these situations, I'm able to glean something positive, because I'm not trying to just, you know, hey, this is what's going on, the big thing, ha ha ha. No, it's like, what can we actually learn from this? And it may not be anything like deeply philosophical like we were yesterday, right, with like eternalism or anything, but we can learn something. But as always, you know, in regards to that, like my DMs are open, so if you're like, hey Raz, like this sucked, like tell me, I want to know. It literally won't hurt my feelings. If anything, I'll thank you. If you say like, hey Raz, I really hated this about this stream, I'll be like, thank you for the advice. Like legitimately. Hi Marie. Hi. I will say though that if there was a like agency that I would do, I think I would do like what Marie did with TRD, which they're an idol unit, where you get like 3 or 4 of your best friends and you just stream as a unit, and you don't have any business, you just stream for fun. Like, I think that's the way to do it. It's kind of like, you know, when you were younger and you were in like Halo and you would do like Forge, you know? If you know, you know. That's why I don't stream. I have a specific aesthetic that the internet likes to fetishize, and I'd probably pop off on someone and get banned in like 3 seconds. Yeah, I mean, the thing about it is that when it comes down to VTuber design, or whether face cam or VTuber, it doesn't matter. You know, you can obviously put on clothes either way, or outfits or so on and so forth, is you have to accept there's going to be some level of that, you know, idolatry, I guess. I'm just going to say fetishization because it's the best way of putting it. But you have to accept that, right? Like, you have to accept, like, based upon the fact or the situation that you're in, you're going to be judged a certain way. You know, here's my pitch. We make indie group called Rascals. Oh God, let's make it an idol unit. Make it an idol unit, and then, you know, TRD will be like, no males allowed. But yeah, I think that rule as well is kind of silly. But I understand why, like, if you have an established audience and you have an established career, I think it makes sense to kind of be like, no males allowed, you know, because of the fact that it solves 99% of the problems that you would ever have with male VTubers. And also, like, even if you don't have that rule, most female VTubers interact and collab with other female VTubers. It's just how it is. Because I'll be honest with you, there aren't a lot of big male VTubers. And the ones that are big, they don't really collab with people. Or if they do, it's like their buds, like Kenji or Azuru, for example. Like Azuru, like he's mega big, but I haven't ever seen him collab with someone. I don't really care. The only thing our unit does is make sure that our schedules don't overlap. Yeah, it's like, I think that your perspective is best. Like, I definitely can see in the future, like, you know, let's say, for example, TRD really pops off, like really pops off, which honestly, I think it should. You guys have it. Like, I would completely understand if you're like, hey, Raz, like, we can't do the no, we have to do no male policy. And I'm like, yeah, no, 100% get that. Because you don't want to ruin, like, because it's not the case that you would care about, like, the profit or anything. It would be the case that you would see what the backlash would be and you would want to avoid it, because you know that it wouldn't just be like, oh, angry at you for not doing it, but also it would end up boiling over and coming to people like me, for example. So it's weird because it's business at the end of the day, but also it's one of the things where, you know, I have seen people who do get big and they don't do the no males allowed thing. But the thing is that is the hard route. And it's like, do you really want that much effort? And it's like, I don't think this is a question where there's a right or wrong answer. I feel that there is definitely a right or wrong answer subjectively by person. But at the end of the day, you make those decisions and you have those policies to protect yourself and your group members, your gen mates. So that's something that's very important to recognize, you know? Yeah, like, I think that's what's nice is that if you don't take it seriously, if you don't take it like super big, like, you don't worry about these things. Like, I've thought about that. Like, what if, like, you know, there's a situation where I have to be concerned about that? And honestly, like, I would just put my foot down. It's like, I don't want to be commanded, like, who can I hang out with, right? I mean, my biggest aspiration for streaming is maybe doing this part-time. I think I've said that before, but, like, that's the greatest aspiration. Also, welcome in, Steph. It's good to see you. I get that, I do, but it's hard when I'm covered in head to toe in tattoos. Ah, okay. And if I were to stream, I'd want to use a face cam, but that's the one thing I can't take off. I can change my style and mitigate the stuff, but ultimately it just seems like a lot of headache. So just throw my support at others. Well, I mean, I can see your issue. I can see the problem. And it's not simple, is it? I mean, there's obviously, you probably thought of that. Like, what if you get them removed, right? But the thing is that tattoos it's not like clothing. Every tattoo, even if it's something as small as like a little dot, it can mean something. And most of them do mean something. So it wouldn't just be like, oh, well, remove the tattoos. It would be remove a story that you have woven into the fabric of your being. So it's not just like, oh, get rid of it. So that's obviously not an option. Probably, I'm guessing. But the other thing too is that, you could do it, but you would have to deal with the flack that would come with it, right? So that's the catch-22. Sometimes you want to hang out with the homies on stream. Exactly. And you don't want to care about like, oh, is this going to be bad for the brand? Like, fuck that. Ooh, Brand PR is such soul-sucking work. Ugh. But I mean, at the same time, I understand the fact that, you know, you step back and go, you know what? I have enough stress going on in my life. I don't want to deal with that. So instead, I'm going to redirect this energy positively to supporting people I care about. But either way, I mean, I think that, you know, there's obviously going to be cost benefits and detriments with choices you make, no matter what. It doesn't matter what it is. But, you know, like how Katja was talking about the fact that, you know, she was dealing with a lot of issues because of her visual appearance, right? Like, there are things that you just can't change. And I mean, honestly, if you went through the effort of getting tattoos from head to toe, you love them, you appreciate them, you cherish them. So the last thing you would want to do is destroy a temple that you've built, is kind of the thing I'm saying. Because like, I completely get it. So it's like, what would be the advice? And I think the thing is that there isn't really advice to give. It's more so a decision. It's like, hey, you could do that. You could do a face cam streamer. You could do all that. However, you know, do you have the mental fortitude and the patience to deal with the asshats? That's the question. And obviously, if the answer is no, one, based, but two, also, you redirect it somewhere positive. Win-win. Smart. And yeah, sometimes you want to hang out with homie on stream. Like, I mean, for me, like, the reason why I like being a VTuber is, like, I personally don't think I'm ugly. I personally don't think that I'm, like, bad looking or anything. But the thing is that if I were ugly, I'd find out real quick. But also, sorry, that was probably a little bit too cynical of a joke on my part. I apologize, guys. But the thing is that I don't want people to judge me on anything except for me, right? So a really good way of doing that is by not showing your face. But I feel like I'm a fairly expressive individual. So it's like, I want you to see me like, you know what I mean? So it protects my anonymity. It also protects like myself from all that stuff. And I get to just be myself. And I feel like, personally, at least in my experience, like, I feel like I actually know the streamer more when they're a VTuber, because instead of like looking at them for, you know, are they white, black, Hispanic, whatever, are they male, female, whatever, it's just like, okay, this is this person. You wish girls were real? Yeah, I do. I mean, if women were real, like, life would be awesome, honestly. I've never seen a woman before. Well, no, I've never seen a woman or a girl. They're all just anime. I'm sorry, it's just, it is what it is. I'm aftermarket. That's like the funniest fucking way to say that. That's fucking amazing. I love that. Too bad women aren't real. Yeah. Women don't exist. They're scary. I mean, I'm scared of women, so it's like, I mean, if I saw a woman, I'd be very scared. And if Marie's like, question mark, you're an idol, okay? You're an idol. This is like, Marie's like, what is this logic? This is so bad. What is this? And it's like, it's just, I'm pulling a silly, as the German man in the car would say. I'm pulling a silly. But yeah, I always think about that, you know, and it's like, me personally, like, I don't have any issues like collabing with female content creators or anything like that, because it's like, I have a rule where I don't like, it's not, I don't mean this to be diminutive or like offensive, but like, I don't look at people as like male or female. I'm like, okay, this is Marie, this is, you know, Volatile, this is et cetera, right? So I don't look at it from the perspective of like, oh, this is a woman. I look at it as like, this is a person named this, right? And that honestly has been like mega like successful. Like, I used to like freak out every time, and then I was like, hold on a second, this is just a person, calm down. And it just worked. It was insane. I've been getting tattoos for over like 10 years now. That's actually insane. Impressive too. So removing them isn't really an option. Yeah, exactly. It's who I, yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. I could go full tilt and just deal with it. Yeah. But the cost, but I don't think I'd be able to keep my composure. Yeah. I'd snap on someone, then it'd be like a whole thing. Yeah. Like, I'm torn. I want to show who I am, but at the same time, my brain just screams no. Yeah. It's the bird in the cage analogy, but also at the same time, you know, there's a reason that you built the cage to put yourself inside of it, you know? You know, sometimes we get the desire to be on the other side of the fence because it looks like the grass is greener. But, you know, once you get over there, you realize that, well, actually the grass is fake, you know? So you have to be mean and measured about it, you know? I've been told I'm scary a lot, so I like being able to keep my RBF out of the equation with VTuber. Oh, resting bitch face. Oh, I'm a VTuber because I don't want to be myself. I feel like what's funny though is that, like, you are just so painfully you, Marie. Like, you know, maybe you are just a mean girl. Maybe you're just like, you know, you got blonde hair, blue eyes, you're you're walking around like, where's my bag? You're just like a valley girl, right? But I think that if anyone in here has also watched Marie's streams, you know that she is just unapologetically herself, which is why everyone loves you for it. But I also understand, like, I don't, you know, like, I feel like with me, what I do is I try to be unabashedly myself, but there is definitely elements of myself that I boost up a little bit. Like, for example, my voice typically isn't this high. It's actually like, it's more like lower down here, but it's really hard to be approachable when you're talking like with a deeper voice. But if you kind of come up here, it's a lot easier and it's more approachable, it's more friendlier. But if I'm like, hey guys, fucking hamburger, you know, it's not great. The grass is greener on the other side. No, it's the same color. Exact. See, you get it. Volatile's like just based. I love it. If I want a tattoo, I'm getting a tribal Filipino one or the fairy tale emblem. If I were to get a tattoo, I would get it on my left like chest, and it would be my name, my blood type, and my date of birth. So that if you put it on your arm and you lose an arm, that's fine. But if I get injured and my chest isn't there, I don't really need I don't need help, because I'm also O negative. So it's like, ugh, I'm the universal donor, but I can only get my own blood, I think it was. I don't like being myself, but Cal is not much different. Well, I mean, the thing is that, like, a lot of people get up in their head about, like, what, like, oh, like, if you play up a little bit of your personality and stuff like that on stream, that doesn't mean it's you. No! It just means that you're the best version of yourself. Sure, is anyone gonna see me when I'm sitting on the floor crying? Probably not. Even people IRL don't get to see that. But the thing is that, like, that's not my entire personality. That's just a part of it, right? Everything you see on my stream is me. Like, I don't hide shit. Now, I will hide some of my opinions and stuff, for sure. But you can figure out what I actually feel and how I am if you really pay attention. But that's not it. Like, that's not an issue. Real life Marie has to hide everything she's interested in. I get that. I mean, because the thing is that, like, in the United States, even though anime and stuff like that is very normalized, the other things about it isn't. Like, idol culture is seen as very culty. It's seen as bad. Like, for example, like, if I went to a friend's house and someone, like, they had, like, a massive wall of figures, like, the first thing I would be like, oh, my people. And second, I would be like, I'm jealous. But other people will be like, oh, this is creepy. This is weird. So you have to find your people, right? And that's the difficult thing, But I mean, like, it's not a bad thing to hide parts of yourself from people. And I don't mean that like, oh, you should be fake. What I mean is that if you are 100% all the time yourself, you're an idiot. Because you're showing all your strengths and your weaknesses. So for example, like, let's say I get on stream, like right now, and I talk about my deepest, darkest insecurity. All it takes is one person that doesn't like me to use that insecurity to insult me. That's why people shouldn't do it. That's why, like, even in my Discord, if you join, I'm like, hey, if you have issues with something, like, don't talk about it in Discord. Find someone you trust. Go to a professional, find a family member or a friend, or do what you need to take care of yourself. Because you should not tell the general public in the Discord what is going on. Because it's none of their fucking business. It's none of the fucking business, I kept liking VTubers from all my friends. Yeah, I mean, like, if I was at work and, like my boss saw Sarah's fauna on my laptop, I'd actually have a heart attack, Because I'm like, oh, fuck. But, yeah. Oh, I've had Marie on it. I'm not good at hiding my opinions. I mean, the thing about hiding opinions is, for me, the reason why it's so easy to hide, like, sometimes how I really feel is because of the fact that, like, it's the cost. It's like, I could sit here and talk about very controversial things that I believe in that could be divisive. But the thing is that, what's the cost? My goal here is not to be like a pundit. It's not to be like a teacher. My goal is to have fun and be positive and do cool things and make you guys have a fun time. If you pick up something along the way, cool. But I should not be where you get your information, your news, anything. If you come and watch the stuff, I recommend you look it up on your own, because I'm just kind of doing surface level stuff. But at the end of the day, if I do influence you, just make sure you recognize it so that if I'm wrong, or if you want to go a different direction, you can, and you don't have to worry. Speaking of tattoos, which also correlates to the previous job hunting topic, it's gotten to the point where when I walk into the interviews, I can tell by the reactions to just walk out, because there's just one or two reactions. The whoa, that's a lot, or oh god, this. Yeah, I mean, that is the catch-22 about like tattoos. Is it's getting better. I think that it's kind of stagnated, but it's definitely gotten better with acceptance. But yeah, for sure, it definitely does, like, preclude you in some ways, and people will hire or fire you for that reason, but they won't tell you about it. They won't hire you because of it. So it's a dangerous thing, but it's also like, there's a reason you got them, and stupid conventions of society be damned, screw it. Funny thing, whenever Marie is streaming, I'll pick a corner of my room with headphones in and watch while watching her. Yeah, I mean, like, Marie's work streams are great. I think I almost have like 70k like channel points on her stream now, because it's just like she does like co-working so much. I haven't been able to catch the recent ones because things have been turbulent, but yeah, 67.9k. Only watch a little bit, I promise. It's kind of funny how my coworker says Marie will talk about anime, but I still hide the fact that I've watched anime, because their views on those kinds of things are just so different. Yeah, I mean, like, The thing is that you're smart. Like, you should never tell your coworkers or acquaintances like how you really feel. It's kind of like being in corporate and like going to your boss and actually telling him what you don't like that. You don't do that. It's bad. What did I miss? Everything. Literally everything. I sleep through Marie's study streams. They are really relaxing. Like, whenever she has the rain going, I'm just like, you know, I've like fallen asleep because it's just so relaxing. But hey, honestly, like, that's a good thing, right? It would be interesting to see Marie do like a ASMR like Jupiter, but obviously everything at its own time, right? But yeah, I think that if you say how you really feel, if you talk about yourself, like your goal at work is to make sure the only thing they know about you is when you clock in and when you clock out, and that's it. It's definitely getting better. People are starting to accept tasks more, but when you're like me, damn near 80%, it's hard for people. Well, yeah, because it's also like, you know, it's quote unquote in their face, so they aren't able to like warm up to it. Like, if, for example, like if you had like a flower or something on your arm, right, and it's hidden by a shirt, like that's a lot easier to approach, especially because the main issue is people who have never seen them or interacted with them. It's just new and it's terrifying. It's kind of like if you walk into a room that's just completely white, you're gonna be like, holy shit, like it's bright, you know? And it's not because they're like they disagree or dislike it. It's just like it's too much from their perspective, you know? So whenever they see it, they're just like, oh, that's like definitely interesting. But the thing is, like, once they kind of get past it, like the initial like difference from what they're used to, they're like, oh, okay, like that's fine. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right. Exactly. They're used to the sleep. Yeah, precisely. My lab mate talked to a professor about the FNAF movie. Academia is different though, because like you're not like your professor technically isn't really, I mean, they're your boss, right? But like academia is just different. Academia is just like, I feel like that's where, like, if you have autism, that's where you shine, you know? And even if you don't have autism, like that's where you shine as well. Like, I remember there was a guy he was like a professor for history, and he still has like the longest running D&D campaign at like 30 years. And I'm like, yeah, that's a professor activity right there. That's that's a 10-year professor activity right there. But you know, it is what it is, you know? I was here for like the hour and a half. Yeah, you missed a lot, Soma. I told you. That's adorable. Yeah, it's like, I think that the thing that's difficult though is, you know, I mean, IRL, like, people don't know very much about me at all. Like, it's actually kind of scary because sometimes people will, like, you know, I'll be acquaintance with someone for years and they'll be like, do you have a dad? Do you have a mom? Like, I know nothing about you. And I'm like, hey, that's on purpose. It's overstimulating for a lot of people. Yeah. I've had interviewers stop mid-interview to just ask questions about them. I mean, there is definitely a conversation starter, but unfortunately sometimes it goes negative. But I've also had the opposite. They stop mid-interview and tell me the tattoos are distracting. Yeah. Then you have the ones that just do the interview that never get back to. Yeah. I mean, you know, the other thing too is that it isn't necessarily like just the interviewers as well. Their hands are kind of tied as well when it comes down to what they can do. Because unfortunately, even though, yes, recruiters are the ones that kind of decide a lot of it, they still have to follow guidelines and rules from the company. And some of the internal ones can be pretty brutal, you know. My teacher once asked me to give him my phone and then won a match on Clash before giving it back. Yeah, I had in high school, there was a physics teacher. Yeah, teacher in high school. I don't know why we called him teacher, and then in college we call him professor. Anyway, but in high school, there was a physics teacher that, like, I would just chill out and I would sit there and like play, what was it? I think we played CSGO on LAN, like 1v1s, and it was fun. Or no, was it CSGO? I think it was, I don't know. No, it was not CSGO. It was Counter-Strike Source. Yeah, it was 1.6. Yeah, so long time ago. Clash Royale. Yeah, Clash Royale is the 1v1 thing, right? But yeah, Clash of Clans I think is dying or getting close, sadly. So womp womp. It's a very big womp womp. Which is kind of bad because it's like Clash of Clans was actually fun. Unironically, it was fun. But yeah, just, you know, is for going forward, just, you know, because I'll ask you guys since you're here, you know, because I'm thinking of doing these like either every other Sunday or every Sunday. I don't know, we'll see. Like, is there anything particular that you would want to see? You know, like I talked about, like, you know, VTuber stuff. I talked about the no mail policy, other things like this. Is there any topics that you're like, you know, this is the stuff that I normally want to hear about. Like, in the VTuber community, I particularly like hearing about, like, Niji Sanji news. I would have been surprised if it survived that long. Yeah, same. I used to play Flappy Bird and Jetpack Joyride in high school. I remember when Flappy Bird came out, I played it like one day and I was like, oh, okay. And then I found out the guy ended the app because, quote unquote, he couldn't handle it anymore. And I'm like, bro, you literally threw away millions of dollars. You're an idiot. Like, what an idiot. It's kind of like the guys who get, like, they win the lottery. They literally win the lottery. And then they blow all their money. And I'm just like, bro, if you put that in a bank account at, like, no interest, you're still going to be, like, rich forever. Like, what the hell? The only thing I know about Nichi Sanji's Lisa and everyone she talks to, nice. I mean, it'll be typically stuff that will be, like, things to glean information off of. Like, I'll never use it as a way to defame an individual or slander someone. I may talk about practices that I don't agree with or I think are insufficient or not valuable, but I'll never use it as a platform to slander someone. Like, even when I was talking about the manager stuff, right? Like, I think that generally speaking, there probably are managers that are worth $150 to $200 an hour. But the thing is that, like, you're not going to get that return on investment at that price. $50, $30, that's reasonable. But, the thing is that, like, consulting fees are always here and there because you never know, right? Like, I could be a consultant. I could be a VTuber manager consultant. You don't need to manage to be a manager. It's one of the reasons why they suck so much. But it was the wild guy. It was wild. The guy hated how good his game was. Yeah, it was like he literally, the Flappy Bird guy was making millions of dollars and was like, I don't want this anymore. I'm like, bro, it's a game about a bird dodging pipes. What do you mean? It's not some moral thing where, like, you benefited off the suffering of others. No, you made a game in 20 minutes and it blew up. Anyway, I think my ranting has come to an end. However, despite the ranting has come to an end, now stream has officially come to a close. So the content of the stream ended a bit ago, but before you go, do consider following on Twitch, subscribing on YouTube. But we are going to go say hello. Go say hello, princess, to Stebio. I haven't rated him in a while. So we're just going to go say hi, hello, how are you? So if you're new here, the way rating works is very simple. You copy the top message if you're a sub, and you copy the bottom message if you're a non-sub. If you're on the YouTube side, the way it's going to work is I cannot redirect, unfortunately, from YouTube to him. However, the stream may be ending on YouTube, but the party is just getting started on the other side. So if you would like to join me, feel free. However, I don't want to say thank you guys for joining me on this experimental stream. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. And we're going to see Stebio playing Peak and hopefully having some fun. But as always, I want to say thank you guys so much for hanging out. Remember, no stream tomorrow or Tuesday. However, we pick right back up on Wednesday for more fun. So as always, thank you guys for hanging out with me, having fun, all that good stuff. And yeah, I'll see you guys very, very soon. So as always, thank you for taking care. Pecan? Stay safe, stay hydrated, stay happy, healthy, and wealthy, and everything healthy. I don't know. I don't have a catchphrase, but as always, I want to see you guys succeed. And I hope that, some good stuff happens in the 2 days that I'm gone. And until then, I'll see you guys later. And as always, good night.